Darren Rovell from the Action Network here with Jay Croucher, the director of trading for PointsBet. Jay, we've had a lot of swings due to COVID. I'm going to talk about the games that have tremendous swings because that's a challenge for both bookmakers and bettors alike. Let's talk about the New York Giants. Opened at 1.5-point dogs to Philadelphia and now are at 10. How in Lord's name do you bet this game?
It's a tough one. Yeah, blockbuster NFC East showdown. Philadelphia, they're really getting all the breaks now with Daniel Jones being out, getting that Washington team that's obviously missing its top two quarterbacks. And now Philadelphia, they have a real path to get into the playoffs. The approach that bettors are taking with the New York Giants is just to ignore them and just bet the other side every single week. So we're in the position of cheering for the Giants every week for better or worse. They didn't show much against Dallas, and I don't think that they're going to show too much against Philadelphia, but we'll be cheering for them for better or worse.
Towards the end of the season, do underdogs, are they playing for so much less, right? So like the Eagles are, how much of the psychology are you guys buying into? That's how the bettor will bet, that we want to make the playoffs. We're 7-7. You're looking at the same with the Chargers and Houston, and that moved from a 5-point favorite to a 10-point favorite. So how much do you take into consideration how bettors will take into consideration the motivation to make the playoffs versus a team that has no chance?
So incentive definitely plays a part in lines, but it really plays more of a part in the final week of the season when there's a bit more clarity around, player availability, or certain players are only going to play the first half, that type of thing, where the last week of the NFL season is an absolute nightmare for bookmakers because that is the one week where you'll see lines move 4 or 5 points just consistently because of all the uncertainty around player availability. This early, though, with still 3 weeks to go, teams are still trying to win. And I think that incentive is mostly known through player availability earlier in the week. So it definitely plays a part, but for the most part, it really is the last week of the season where that stuff really starts to take hold.
What are the challenging games that bettors are not betting? And what are the games that they say this is the easy one? So like LA, Minnesota, I feel like people would want to bet that one. And I feel like they'd want to stay away from the big spreads now. I feel like people would want to bet Buffalo, New England. Are people wanting to bet in general right now for this week, the tight spreads or the big spreads?
Definitely the tight spreads. There's a lot of money line parlay action with Philadelphia and the Chargers, these bigger spreads, but all the bigger favorites at the money line. But certainly in terms of the spread action, it's on the big blockbuster games. Like you said, Rams, Vikings, where people are lining up behind the Rams after what Cooper Kupp did to Seattle on Tuesday night. Bills, Patriots, and this surprises me a little bit, but everyone is behind Buffalo. All the public is behind Buffalo. And look, it kind of feels like a game that Buffalo win, where they were surging at the end of that Tampa Bay game, and then they blow out Carolina. Meanwhile, the Patriots lose to the Colts. But this Patriots team was the number 1 seed going to last week for a reason. So that's why we still make them favorite. And we think they are a better team than Buffalo, even neutral field. But that's another one that's taking a lot of activity. And then Baltimore, Cincinnati, which is the game that probably decides the AFC North, where I think people are just too concerned about Baltimore's injury situation and the uncertainty around Lamar Jackson. And everyone's lining up on Cincinnati there.
Jay Croucher, the director of trading for PointsBet, thanks for taking us behind the book for another week.
Thanks, Darren.
Make sure you check out all of PointsBet's promotions, including this one for Sunday Night Football.